Hello, this is a video for C major scale for cello, and we are going to work on slurring two notes together. So in our last video, we talked about C major scale. It has 0 sharps and 0 flats, so that means we have to make some alterations. We have to use our second finger, excuse me, for F sharp and C natural on the A string. Okay, so C major scale, we could start on this bottom C, but for right now we're just going to start on the C above that, which is on the G string, 4th finger. So let's do a quick review of C major scale pizzicato before we use our bow and work on slurring. Okay, so C is 4th finger, C natural is 4th finger on G string on the tape. C. So let's, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you to get your cello out. Let's pluck this together just slowly so we make sure we have all the notes. So we have C, open D, E is 1st finger on the D string. Now we have F natural, which is 2nd finger on our D string. 2nd finger, so that's in between the two tapes, your 1st and 3rd tape. And then we go to 4th finger for G. Then we have open A, 1 for B, and then 2 between the tapes again for C natural. Let's go back down. C natural, B is 1st finger, A is open, G is all 4 fingers on the D string. Then we go to 2nd finger for our F natural. 1 for E, open for D, and our last C natural is 4th finger on the tape on that G string. Okay, so that scale starts on C, up to C, back down to C, and it does not have any sharps in it. So we have to make those F naturals and C naturals happen with our 2nd finger. Okay, so next up we're going to slur 2 quarter notes. So I'll give you a short little example just of the beginning. Except you'll get a better sound than that. So slur 2's up, 2 down, so 2 notes per bow. And the first thing I want to talk about before we do this is let's think about our very first 2 notes of C major scale. C natural, or sorry, and then open D. So on our very first bow, we have to go from our G string with our bow. I'm going to tilt this down so you can see my bow a little better. Right, and when we change strings, we're gonna use this motion. Right, so let's do that a couple times. Let's just put your bow towards the frog and on the G string, and then without moving it, let's rock it to D string, and then back, and then you can see this motion. It's not really a big motion, it's pretty small, but it's important to be hitting the right strings. Now, after we've done this rocking back and forth, we won't use this hand, and let's just go back and forth between G and D. And I'm out of tune. That's a little better. So let's do that one more time. Let's go back and forth just on open strings, just to work on this action right here. Ready, go. D, D, D. Good. So now let's work on our scale. And we're going to use that motion on our very first bow from C. And then we're going to move our arm like this to get D. Okay, Let's do this together, nice and slow. SLUR 2, C major scale. Ready, go. All right, you can see I struggled with that a little bit. I'm not used to cello bow changes, so they're a little messy. So let's work on this together. See if we can only hit one string at a time, and I'll do the same. Let's do that again. Let's give one more try. Ready? Go. C, D, F, E, F natural, G, A, B, C natural, C natural, B, A, G, F natural, E, open D, C. Okay, that was a little better. So I still need a little practice on my string crossings too. But remember, if you're ever hitting the wrong strings, just take a little time and see if you can play open strings like that. And then that should really help with your bow crossings, your string crossings as I call them, right? That's when we're changing strings on one bow. So happy practicing. Please take time to work on this by yourself. It's not so easy to get down in 7 minutes. So yeah, make sure you're pausing this, practicing, and then coming back to it. Okay, happy practicing. Good job. And I'll see you in the next one.